Hello everyone, today we like to present patching shear behavior of two-way reinforced concrete flat slab with openings. Nowadays, reinforced concrete flat slab are widely used due to numerous advantages, such as simple reinforcement detail, less construction time, reducing building height. But a flat slab without beam makes it less rigid when compared to a conventional slab. The punching shear failure can happen in flat slabs due to the development of high shear stresses in the slab column connection area. The punching shear failure can occur suddenly with no warning signs, which may cause a progressive collapse of the entire building. The behavior of punching shear in flat slab is an essential factor to concern, and the critical shear parameter is equal to half of an effective depth from column periphery. The openings in flat slab are created for various functions, such as passing, plumbing, electric wires, or elevators. Common opening shapes are circle, square, and rectangular. Openings are reduced the area of concrete sustaining shear stresses, and usually located next to the column, which is at the most critical section, leading to high development of shear stress. ACI T18 2014 said that attention to the boundaries of an opening shall be considered ineffective if it closer than 10 times of slab thickness from the column periphery, and it is updated to version 2019 with change distance from 10h to 4h from column periphery to an opening. But it has a point to concern in code comment, which is the code updated by has only one research paper support the reason for changing the distance. By the way, the distance that updated is close to Eurocode 2 distance, which equal to 6 times of effective depth. So our objective is first to study the punching shear behavior of various shapes and location of opening. Second, to investigate the punching shear strength when openings are located 1 time and 4 times depth from column faces according to ACI T18 2019. Third, to be adapted made for planning shear reinforcement design of flat slab with opening in the future. And fourth, to investigate the applicability of shear capacity equation. Code we use for assumption results are ACI T18 and Eurocode 2. For ACI T18 2019, shear capacity equal to VCB0D, with B0 can find by critical shear parameter. If the slab has an opening, it needs to draw tangent line and cancel out part of ineffective, similar to Eurocode 2, but critical shear parameter is 2 times effective depth from column periphery and is no longer at the critical shear parameter.
Moving to the specimen details, there are 14 specimens that divided into 2 groups. First group is 2 openings and second group is 4 openings. For 2 openings group, there are 1 control specimen and 6 specimens with different shape of openings that consist of square, circular, and rectangular shape at the location of 1h and 4h. 4h means slab thickness. For 4 openings group, there are 7 specimens that consist of 1 control specimen and 6 specimens with different shape of openings. In the details of shape and locations are similar to 2 openings group. Next, the details of 14 specimens are concluded in the table 1. In the specimen design, this is the equation which calculates the frictional capacity. We design the frictional capacity higher than shear capacity because we require the punching shear failure. Moving to the figure on the right hand side is the plan of frictional reinforcement. For the experiment setup, the figure on the left hand side shows the experiment setup diagram that consists of steel frame, hydraulic jack, load cell, rubber pad, wide flanks, and concrete blocks. Moreover, there are 4 supports for simulate two-way behavior in flat slab. Moving to the right-hand side, this is the actual experiment setup. For the experimental results, start the general behavior. In the figure on the left-hand side, it shows the relationship between load after normalized and deflection curve of all specimens. The load is normalized by the prediction formula of ACI 318 version 2019 because each group of specimens had different compressive strength of concrete. Therefore, we normalize it for investigate them together. Additionally, from the curve of all specimens, it can be observed for different states as shown in the figure on the right-hand side. Firstly, it starts a straight line. This state is called elastic state. Then the curve begins to bend. This state occurred the first crack. After that, the curve was ascending with reduced slope. Finally, the curve decreased suddenly. In this state, the specimen was failure. Moving to the load of the first crack, the group of two openings, as shown in the figure on the left-hand side, had the same load that occurred the first crack in each specimen. However, the group of four openings had the different load that occurred the first crack. For example, the specimen which had rectangular opening at one edge occurs the fastest of first crack. As a result, openings have significantly effective to the load of first crack. For the crack patterns of two openings, the control specimen and the specimen that openings were in 4H position have a similar crack pattern. However, the crack pattern occurs in the specimen that opening were in 1H position. It was different because the shear crack occur in west to east direction was shorter than in north to south direction. These crack patterns observed as through the one-way behavior. For the crack patterns of four openings, the crack patterns of control specimen was similar to the specimen that opening were in 4H position as the previous group. However, the perimeter of shear crack in 1H specimen lower than the control specimen, but it is not change the crack pattern to one-way behavior as the previous group.
For the ultimate rotation in both figures, it can be seen that the rotation when opening were located at 4H was similar to the control specimen. However, the rotation when opening were located at 1H in both groups was lower than the control specimen. Starting to effect of the location of openings, this slide shows the comparison between opening at 1H on the right-hand side and 4H on the left-hand side. It can be seen that the punching shear strength of 1H specimen was lower than the punching shear strength of 4H specimen because the opening at 1H position was more decreased the critical shear perimeter than another position. Then the comparison at 4H position between both groups. Although the punching shear capacity does not decrease obviously in two opening groups, it can be observed clearly in another group by the rectangular opening specimen was noticeable lower than the control specimen. Therefore, the location 4H of openings still affect the punching shear capacity. Focusing effect of number of openings, the maximum punching shear failure in each specimen are plotted in both figures based on the number of openings, 2 openings and 4 openings. In both figures, it can be seen that the punching shear capacity of all specimens decreased following the number of openings increase. And the effect of shape of openings from the figure on the right-hand side, it can be seen that the shape which had the highest punching shear strength in the specimen is a circular shape of both case 2 and 4 openings, followed by square and rectangular shape respectively. However, the square shape of openings had the highest punching shear strength in figure on the left-hand side due to the distance from opening to the column periphery is very far. Moreover, there was slightly different value of the punching shear strength between both shapes. Moving to the comparison between tele-result and both codes. Table 2 show analytical punching shear capacity, which was obtained by ACI version 2019 and Yonlada 2, and will compare with the punching shear capacity from the test results. The average difference ratio between the test and analytical result was 4% for ACI and 7% for Yonlada 2. Moreover, ACI had a lower deviation than Yonlada 2, and ACI provided a slightly more accuracy than Yonlada 2. For the results, we can conclude that first, the incidence of opening changed the behavior of the crack pattern. Second, number of opening can affect the punching shear capacity. The punching shear capacity decreased following the number of opening increase. Third, the location for position of opening slightly affect the punching shear capacity according to ACI version 2019. Fourth, the circular shape of opening is the gated shape in three shapes: circular, square, and rectangular shape at the same position of opening. 5. ACI version 2019 has slightly more accurate than Yonlada 2. However, both codes are appropriate to calculate the prediction punching shear capacity. Thank you for your attention.